Well, welcome everyone to the February 21st Public Council meeting for the town of Conception Bay South. As always, we start with our land acknowledgement. The town of Conception Bay South would like to respectfully acknowledge the territory in which we gather as the ancestral homelands of the Beothuk and the island of Newfoundland as the ancestral homelands of the Mi'kmaq and Beothuk. We also respectfully acknowledge Labrador as the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Innu and Nitassinan and the Inuit of Nunatsiavut and the Inuit of Nunatuavut. We strive for respectful partnerships with all the peoples of the province as we search for collective healing and true reconciliation and honor this beautiful land together. Okay, adoption of the agendas and minutes. First, the agenda for this evening, moved by Councillor Hillier, seconded by Councillor Butler. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Adoption of the meeting minutes from February 7th. Moved by Councillor Tilley, seconded by Councillor Barrett. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. And business arising from previous minutes dealt with at this meeting and meetings going forward. And next we have visitors, presentations, and petitions. And this evening we have two proclamations. The first one is Easter Seals Month, and Councillor Tilley will bring that forward.
Thank you, Worship. The following is a proclamation for Easter Seals Month. Whereas approximately 100,000 people of all ages in our province live with disabilities such physical, sensory, cognitive, or other disabilities that present barriers to full participation in society. Whereas Easter Seals Newfoundland and Labrador is a charitable organization with a vision for community where all people with disabilities live full, healthy, and active lives. A mission to engage, inspire, and maximize opportunities for people with disabilities of all ages by providing meaningful programs and services. Whereas Easter Seals Newfoundland's recreation programs help those with disabilities explore what they can do through independence camps, art and music therapy, and adaptive sports, promoting full, active, and healthy, socially engaged lifestyles. Whereas Easter Seals Newfoundland offers career and educational services to assist those with barriers to employment in successfully transitioning from home and school into adulthood and independence, with a focus on preparing for, obtaining, and maintaining gainful employment. Whereas Easter Seals Newfoundland and Labrador, I Can Too disability awareness program activities foster disability awareness and sensitivity and provide tools for accessibility and inclusion. Therefore, with the support of Council of the Town of Conception Bay South, I sign this proclamation and declare the month of March in 2023 to be observed throughout the town as Easter Seals Month. I call upon all citizens of the town to support this worthy charitable organization and the people of all ages and all disabilities it serves.
Thank you, Councillor Tilley. The next one I have here is the Violence Prevention Month of February. So whereas the Violence Prevention Initiative of the Government of Newfoundland and Labrador is based on a vision that the people of our province will live in safe, caring communities where there is an inherent respect for each other and violence of any sort is unacceptable. Whereas the solution to eradicating violence against those most at risk in our society, women, children, youth, Aboriginal women and children, persons and Aboriginal children, persons with disabilities, older persons, and others who are victims of violence because of ethnicity, sexual orientation, or economic status, is through a collaborative effort between the provincial government and the community to improve services and to educate all residents of our province about violence prevention. And whereas the town of Conception Bay South, with its community partners, have been working to improve services to victims of violence and violence prevention programs for many years, and whereas the town of Conception Bay South promotes self-reliant, healthy, educated individuals and families living in safe, nurturing communities, whereas the town of Conception Bay South has made a commitment to partner with the community to seek long-term solutions to violence, I am pleased to proclaim the month of February 2023 to be Violence Prevention Month and encourage all residents of the town of Conception Bay South to recognize that violence prevention is everyone's responsibility and support for violence prevention activities in our community is key. Okay, next council travel, June to December 2022. I assume it's from June because I don't think anybody traveled between January and June anywhere. So the list there, I've traveled 3 times and Councillor Tilly once, and this is for public information. And as you can see, we've 3 of those are to do with municipalities, Newfoundland and Labrador, their urban municipalities caucus meeting and the annual meeting, as well as the ICSC conference, which is the retail conference in Toronto that I traveled to in October. And that's there for public information, as always. We do that every year. New business. So I'm going to start tonight in new business with Councillor Tilly and Deputy Mayor Goss. So I'll start with Councillor Tilly first, because there may be something to do with the hockey game that happened that you might want to say something about, and I'm not sure. So I'll give a chance for counterpoint.
Unfortunately, we had a small wager from our last public meeting, but due to circumstances beyond my control, that I forgot to get the jersey. We were the Falcons were victorious in the alumni game, even though there was some wrong information printed in the local newspaper. But I contacted the editor, and there's going to be a reprint done hopefully next week.
Okay.
But I just said, touching on I guess the alumni games and all the Winterfest, and I'm sure a lot of us are going to comment on it. I thought it was a great week. A lot of people attended a lot of the events, and not only kudos to everyone for attending events, but I'd really like to point out to our recreation staff who went above and beyond. And it's not only a recreation staff, I guess staff were hauled out of every department to help out where they could, and also a bouquet to the volunteer groups that actually stepped up and volunteered their services for, whether it's the pancake breakfast or whether some of the events that we had that were sponsored. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic to see that the volunteers are alive and well in Conception Bay South, and they're willing to help out their town in any way possible. So I'll leave the rest up to my colleagues to talk about.
Thank you, Councillor Tilly. Deputy Mayor Goss.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. And yes, the Falcons did win, but what he didn't say was that it was they were down 7. The Pioneers were down 7-3, and they came back and they tied, and they ended up tied 9-9, and it went to a shootout. So no shame. What? This is the alumni.
She's referring to the alumni
game. Yes.
So you're saying a football game broke out?
Probably won.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Okay. See. Okay. Anyway,
If they had another
It's
goalie, they
been-
probably would have won too. So hey,
the rivalry in our town with the high school hockey, which went into the turned into alumni games, has developed over the years, and it really shows the community spirit, the spirit of the schools for the young and the retired, and it's just nice to be a part of it. And I enjoyed all the games that I got the opportunity to take in. And Winterfest, yeah, it was a great week. It really was. Right from the opening of Winterfest, when up at Nugent's Field, where we just got a snow came and was big flakes, and the kids were running around, and we had our fire show, and it was just a great vibe in the air. The fire pits going. It's a great vibe, and it was really, really nice. I just want to make mention too of the community bingo on Wednesday night. Was a super turnout. They had a full house, which is really great because it's in support of the CBS softball project Field of Dreams. And yeah, it was another great event during Winterfest. Everything that I attended through the week was very well attended, and people were just really happy to be out and having and being able to attend an event in person. And yeah, so great week. And yeah, I'll pass it on because there's going to be lots of chatter. Thanks.
Okay, so you get a reprieve. You don't have to wear the jersey this week. We'll see what happens in the future. Anyways, I'm going to go back and forth. So Councillor Butler, you're next up.
Thank you, Your Worship. For sure, Winterfest activities, the residents really do enjoy, and they do appreciate it. I see a lot of people who do thank us, and likewise, we always thank the staff, especially Carla and Tash. But there's a lot of goes on behind the scenes, the Winterfest committee, all the volunteers from the community groups, all certainly need a big thank you from everybody, because without them, we wouldn't be able to do it. I did get to a few events. Myself and Mayor Goss got to call bingo at Heritage Square. We got heckled. These people, they don't appreciate anything. We got heckled, and I tell you, they know their bingo, because if you call something you're not supposed to, they're very quick to tell you. But I know that, because that's why I do purposely, just to tease them, see if they're listening to me. But that was a great day. And I also got to call bingo at Emerald's Coast too earlier in the week, and had a little sing along with them, and they enjoyed that. I dropped by the Family Fun Day, and that was a beautiful afternoon. Beautiful afternoon. Oh my gosh, the weather was fantastic, and they were enjoying the sliding and the fires, and that was really nice. And I dropped by to wish our Team NL squash team all the best at the the Canada Winter Games in PEI. All but 3 are actually residents of our town, and the whole squad plays out from CBS Squash. So it was nice to give them a few town pins and wish them well and have good luck and have fun. And I noticed that Sophie was the first athlete interviewed with the games on their, I don't know if they got a local page or something on the go, and I saw it there, and her lanyard was already full of pins. So she might have to get a few more lanyards. It's always a fun thing to do. And Sunday I dropped by at the Riverdale, because the town hosted the Special Olympics athletes to an afternoon of bowling and prizes, and that was always fun. And I will say, there's always one young man there who never stops. He always says hello. He always says thank you for everything that we do, although he did ask where the mayor was. And that's Matthew. Matthew sent a note and said thank you to us for having it, and thank you to the town for the prizes. And he did win a prize, by the way. But he did say to me, Christine, is the mayor coming? Anyway, I said, no, he was busy doing something else. And I think that's about it. I want to wish all NL team athletes the best of luck and have fun at the Winter Games, because it is a lot of fun. And as a parent who's gone in the past, it's probably more nerve-wracking for the parent than it is for the athlete. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you, Christine. And Matthew, if you're watching, I was under the weather for most of the week, so I missed a lot of stuff, but I know I'll see you at Dominion very soon. Christine, you've got a big history with calling bingo though, too, right? And you still got heckled?
Admiral's Coast, I called bingo for 3 years. And then when I managed to be successful with council, I had to give that up because I didn't like not being able to be there on a consistent basis. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay, thank you. Lots of good stuff on the go, and you got around to a lot of it. Thank you. Councillor Hillier.
Yes, Your Worship. Good evening. Just want to talk a little bit about the weather this evening, Your Worship. As everybody's aware, the last couple of weeks have been a hard time in terms of weather. Everything has come down, I suppose, except the proverbial cats and dogs. And it's been hard for residents. It's been hard for our staff trying to provide services to our residents. Want to highlight 3 instances, I guess, where our staff sort of have gone above and beyond, have come to my attention over the last couple of days. Councillor Tilley and Deputy Mayor talked about our recreation staff and the work that they did. Lots of times we've had Winterfest, we haven't been able to find enough snow to have a good snowball fight. This time there was more than enough, and I know the people doing the organizing spent a lot of time juggling schedules and canceling and postponing and rescheduling and so on. And I want to send out a bouquet to those people who did all that work. The second instance, I want to send out on behalf of the residents of Marley's Place, a big shout out to whoever was on the snowplow on the evening of February the 18th, because they said they've never seen a cul-de-sac plowed so well before in their lives. So whoever that was, has got the knack, and there are a few cul-de-sacs around that perhaps we should send that person out to. All right. So on behalf of the people of Marley's Place, thank you very much. And the third one, I saw the garbage truck go up my street on Saturday. Our garbage was canceled last Tuesday because of a snowstorm. Postponed till Saturday. And of course, Saturday wasn't a whole lot better. So I had my garbage out. Most people had their garbage out, and I do have other things to do. I don't stand in the window all day long waiting for the garbage truck or anything like that. But I did see the garbage truck come up the street. And I noticed my neighbor didn't have his garbage out. So the garbage truck picked up mine, kept on going. And my neighbor put his garbage out next to me. So the garbage truck went up the street, turned around and came back. And when he got abreast of the house of my neighbor who had just put out his garbage, he pulled over to the side of the street. He got out of the truck, went and took the garbage can, wheeled it across the street, around the front of the truck, lined it up with the arms, got in the truck, loaded the garbage, got out of the truck, took the garbage can, back around the truck, and back to my neighbor's driveway. So whoever that was, thank you very much. We've got some great people working for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Hillier. Yeah, that's a awesome job. I witnessed something similar, not quite as dramatic, but my next door neighbor's garbage can, the way our cul-de-sac is, it fills in because of the snow and the plowing. So there wasn't room for the truck to get around. So the truck actually pulled around, took my garbage, pulled up to the next stop, walked back, like you said, get out of the truck, brought the can up to the truck. They flipped it, got back out of the truck and put the can back in the driveway and went on. So hats off to the staff, they're doing a great job out there, and it's less than ideal conditions. I can tell you, like you said, on Saturday, it wasn't much better at all. Okay, Councillor Moores.
Thank you, Mayor. So I just want to, I guess, talk about Winterfest. I wasn't able to attend as many events as I would have liked to because I was away for work, but I did attend the pancake breakfast. And I will say that chocolate chip pancakes are by far more popular than plain pancakes. And next year there's going to be a competition between who gets to serve more and who gets to serve less. We did well this year. And I did make it back in time to watch the final game of the high school shield. And I will point out that Holy Spirit Falcons did win. And it was very exciting to be there for that. And while I was away, I was actually getting many messages from people who were attending all the different events and how great they were, and the craft beer tasting that was at Manuel's River and the trivia nights and everything else. So I just want to give a huge shout out to Natasha and Carla, because the amount of work that they do behind the scenes with the different committees and the events that we pull off here, there's a lot of hours that go into it, and hats off to them. And of course, the group of volunteers that we have for Winterfest were fantastic and dedicated and helped out. And like many people around the table have said, if it's not for our volunteers, we don't have these events. So just thank you to everyone. And I'm glad we had snow this year. I can't believe I missed it, but next year, hopefully we'll have snow again. And a shout out to all the athletes. Sophie, who Councillor Butler mentioned, is my daughter's best friend, and she's having a great time. She won her first set. I think she lost her second one, had another one today. And I know that a lot of the athletes are having a lot of fun and taking in all the other events. So it's a great experience, and wish them all luck, and go Falcons. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Connors.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to point out that neither the chocolate chip muffins or the plain muffins were as popular, or pancakes, were as popular as the hash browns. I don't think they were told to slow down giving out the hash browns because you're going to run out. We had people coming back for seconds and thirds. So I think the hash browns won over all those pancakes.
My question is, this is pancake day. Where are all the pancakes
No
now?
pancakes, not a pancake to be found.
Oh,
And these people talking about serving pancakes. Just a couple of quick things on the Winterfest. I got to a few events, but I did manage, for some reason, I managed to get to all the hockey games, never missed one. And it was like this year was really good to see. the crowds that were out for, like at the first Shield game was 800. Second Shield game was 875 or something, and the last night it was well over 1,000. I'd say it was probably 1,200 people there. And for those young hockey players and the schools to be able to see that much spirit, and it was really good. And they were really entertaining hockey games. All the Annie Squires was really competitive. The caliber of girls hockey in Conception Bay South now is amazing. So I just want to say that, but we got to remember that the junior high, the boys junior high is not finished yet. The next game is next Monday night, March 27th. Or February, my God, I'm gone. February 27th. I don't know what time. Monday or Tuesday. But besides that, now I got to take a little time here tonight because this Friday, February 24th, a longtime employee of our town, after 46 years, is retiring. And anyone in Conception Bay South who grew up playing hockey or figure skating or just going to the Robert French Memorial Stadium knows Peter Nugent. He was more than an employee of the town. He was the go-to person at the stadium. He's the expert. He's probably the most known person up there. Everybody knows Peter at the stadium. He's the ice cleaner. He's the skate sharpener, rink attendant, and anything else that needs to be done. It was like Arena was his home away from home. I bet you Peter knew every hockey player that played minor hockey to high school, to junior hockey, senior hockey, to rec leagues, everything. And not only did he know the players, he also he knows probably all their parents and everything like that too, because he was the face and the eyes of the arena or the stadium for a long time. Now, as a rink rec growing up myself, I spent many hours at the rink, and I became to know Peter pretty well. And I knew him prior as we were growing up, but over the years I've considered him a friend. But Peter got lots or thousands and thousands of friends as a person who worked at the stadium. His personality, and I guess his love for the job that he was doing, because he took a lot of pride in the job that he did. It was easy to become friends with him. So he will definitely be missed. Now, I could go on with stories and stories of how many pairs of skates that he sharpened and how many laps that he went around the rink and cleaned the ice, and how many championships he saw up there, but that'll take all night, so I'm not going to do that. So I just want to say it's truly an end to an era. Peter worked with the company that built the Robert French Memorial Arena. But when the construction did, he actually got hired on in 1976. So he built it, then he went to work there, and after 46 years, he's retiring from there. So he'll be missed at the arena. And so on behalf of all the people who've gone through the doors of our arena or over the past 46 years or since the arena was built, I want to publicly say thank you and wish Peter all the best in his retirement.
Thank you, Councillor Connors. Yes, to be part of the crew that helped build it and then worked there for 46 years. And you could say he's been associated with the arena for the 50 years we've been in town. That's quite a thing. But again, congratulations to Peter Nugent and all the best on your retirement. Councillor Barrett.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yeah, a few different things going on this evening, which is really exciting. Just want to pick up on a couple points that a few of my colleagues have mentioned. First, wanted to follow up on something Councillor Hillier mentioned. I was also on that garbage route on Saturday, and super impressed with their staff. But just a quick note, as the snow starts to melt, there is on occasion a lot of debris about, and so just have some patience. If there is some debris in an area, you just contact our public works staff. We'll put you in the queue. We know there's some cul-de-sacs or whatever with some rocks and whatnot. So just be patient as we work through that. The other thing, yeah, Winterfest. Everybody has mentioned already. I won't belabor it, but I was able to go out to a few events. I was at the opener as well with my daughter, and it was a lovely winter evening. We had lots of fun as well. And surprised I'm the first one to mention this right now, but our community park and our ice rink is all good to go. It's open. I was out on a skate. It's beautiful. It was amazing there last Friday. I took the kids to the library and then we went to the park it was a great day and great sunny day in CBS. And so I know over the weekend we had to work on our refrigeration unit, but that's all good to go. So I think 10 to 10 it's open. So yeah. It was closed today, yes, and obviously with the weather over the next couple of days, we'll keep an eye on it. But overall, there's no, aside from a little tweaks, it's all good to go. So yeah, very exciting that we have that asset in our town again now, and encourage residents to enjoy the winter weather as we get it. Yeah, exciting. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilor Barrett. Councilor Hardy.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. Just want to speak about the Winterfest. I was also able to get out to a couple of events. Thought I would get to more, but obviously when you have kids, there's certainly sickness that goes around. Pancake breakfast by far was so fun from all the council, our colleagues, the volunteers, MP Ken McDonald. Like, it was just such a great atmosphere. The kids coming up, they're please and thank you. Do you want hash browns? No. Do you want cut up French fries? Yeah. So it was so much fun. Like the things, peeling grapes for people. Like, oh my God, Rex, you did a fabulous job on peeling grapes for people.
Just need to take your time with them. That's all. You need to take your time. It's what you do with the peel afterwards. That's the issue.
And the other event I was able to attend was a Paddy McGinty's Wake the Dinner Show. It was sold out at the Parish Hall. The meal was fabulous. It was a turkey dinner. We had a salad, and then you had a choice of a cheesecake or a carrot cake. A couple of us tried to get an extra piece of dessert because it was so good. And the little lady's like, no, one's good. I was like, okay, we're not going to fight with anyone. But the show was so good. And again, just goes back to the volunteers that we have. The ACW ladies, they put off a fabulous dinner once again. Then they had a couple of young students there as volunteers. It ran seamlessly. And you had Carla and Natasha running around with their clipboards. We're very blessed with the volunteers we have in the community, plus in the staff that take such pride in putting out a great event and a product. So kudos to everyone involved, and certainly excited to see what happens next year.
Thank you, Councillor Hardy. And contrary to what you said, people did want the hash browns, according to Councillor Connors. So,
That was when we told some kids, do you want hash browns? They said, no, I don't want hash browns. I said, do you want cut up stadium fries? Oh, yes. Yep. So that
it's all in the delivery, the presentation. Anyways, I'll just clue up with a couple of things about Winterfest. And I want to say, and you've mentioned it, I know the volunteers and the people that help out, but our Lions Club down there, and they were at a few things. I did a great job. The youth committee as well, and all the community groups that were involved in different ways, and even the folks down at Manuel's River and so forth for different events did a fantastic job. And I guess in some ways, Winterfest, even though it was supposed to be over 2 days ago, it's not over yet. There's still a few events that have been pushed down the road because the only thing that got in the way of Winterfest was winter. And, so the only fly in the ointment, I guess, as you could say, but it was great because this was the first Winterfest in 3 years that wasn't affected directly by COVID. And in 2020, when the big outbreak happened, we had just got Winterfest done. And then 21 and 22, both years, we were affected. And a lot of the events had to be catered to the COVID protocols, but not this year. It was great to see so many people out. And I think somebody said we served 1,200 at the pancake breakfast. Yeah, the 1,200 went through. That was great. It was a great morning. And then, but the evening before, and I just want to say thank you to Councillor Tilley and Councillor Moores and the committee that you folks have for the 50th anniversary, because that kickoff event, and of course the Winterfest and your committee with Winterfest, the volunteers we have on that are great individuals pulling together some of these things, and our staff and recreation goes without saying how much how much pride they put into the things they do. They want them to go right, and the effort and the time they put into it, and they pretty well usually do. So it was a great Winterfest. Just one other thing, I just want to bring this up because, well, two really, but the weather's been wonky, to say the least, like Councillor Hillier pointed out. But today we had this huge rain. And what's happened is that anywhere there was a crack in the pavement, it's washed out. There's a hole, right? And I just want to ask everyone to be careful, but also more importantly than being careful almost is go to our website, go on the report a pothole and report the pothole, because in a pothole on a town street, we can get fixed pretty quickly, at least fixed enough to get us through the winter. And if you have a pothole that you've noticed, and I noted there was a beast out on the ramp heading east off Fowler's Road, and I think there was actually one heading west, although I didn't use that one, that got fixed, I think either today or yesterday after a few pleas went through to the proper channels. But even if there's a pothole on a provincial road, that's Foxtrot Access Road, Route 60, Topsail Road, or those ramps, put it in our report a pothole, because when we have it in our system, we'll send it to the provincial system. They'll get it, and hopefully they'll be able to get after it. So we're going to see a lot more, and I don't want to belabor it, but the road in the area of Topsail Elementary, Route 60 is just falling apart today because while the water is washed out, and I'm sure it's not alone. There's a lot of roads probably getting a little bit of damage today because of all the rain we had. So, and then tonight now it's supposed to turn cold again. It's supposed to be like -3 overnight, 4 overnight, 5 tomorrow, -5 tomorrow. So please be careful at walking around driveways, sidewalks, everywhere. There's a lot of ice, and it has to give it time for the salt to work with the ice, and of course to make it fully safe. But be careful in your own driveways and so forth. Okay, we've been here 40 minutes already, and we haven't got to the town's
Excuse me.
business yet.
Excuse me, Mayor.
Yes.
I really wanted to do something because I thought that someone else was going to make a point of acknowledging the CBS Winter Games athletes, and I thought it was going to be done by someone else. And I think
Yes.
that we should acknowledge them
Yeah, you go ahead.
really quickly. Hockey, Jack Bartlett, Will Carroll, Declan Kennedy, Mason Strong. Squash, Sophie Toke, Laura Stroud, Joel Stroud, Jonah DePasquer, Carter Lake, Ben Smith. Curling, Callie Locke. Gymnastics, William Osmond. Figure skating, Jonathan Flynn, Maddox Glover. And hockey, Molly, Jill, and Haley Ryan. Good luck.
Perfect. Thank you, Councillor Butler. I actually didn't have it on my list because I thought you were going to do it. But fantastic. So all these athletes from Conception Bay South are in Prince Edward Island this week competing in the Canada Winter Games, and we're well represented. I think anybody around this table would probably recognize most, if not all of those names, that these are great multi-sport athletes. And congratulations, first of all, on making the team, because that's quite an accomplishment in itself. And then to be able to go to somewhere else to represent your province, and of course, always representing your hometown is fantastic. Well, and it's something that will be memories forever. And I know that we're seeing lots of updates on social media and I think in the mainstream media as well. So it's great to see that. So good luck to all the CBS athletes and every other athlete over there from Newfoundland, Labrador, and all the athletes. Hope they have a great time and make memories that will last them a lifetime. Okay, we're going to get on to the recommendations of the Planning and Development Committee. And as always, Chair Councillor Rex Hillier will start things off.
Yes, Your Worship. These are recommendations brought forward from our last committee meeting. Number 6A, 240 to 258 Anchorage Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with Council's authority at section 4.92 of the town's development regulations, application number 2496 received January 23rd, 2023 to subdivide land at 240 to 258 Anchorage Road to create 4 new infill residential building lots fronting onto Anchorage Road be deferred pending consideration of the future development of the entire property and determination of requirements for municipal servicing and storm drainage. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Seconder, Councillor Hardy, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship. These lots we see these lots as being part of a parcel of land that's working its way through rezoning process right now. So rather than develop these 4 infill lots at this point in time, we want to make sure that that there is a plan for the whole area before we move forward on any of the development in that region.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 6B, 46.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair. Before we go on to 6B, I just want to get a point of clarification. 4668 is, I believe is the church property on Longshore Road, and regarding, I guess, the subdivision of land, I guess that's what it's referring to. I have a family member under the conflict of interest rules who sits on the committee of, oh, I guess that church is sold now, isn't it?
That church is sold now.
Oh, okay, so that's probably a moot point then.
This is the new owners of something like.
Yeah.
Okay. Be it so resolved that proposed subdivision of the land at 46 to 68 Longshore Road be approved as proposed, and that any encroachment. Got my voting. I can't see what I'm saying. Be approved as proposed, and that any encroachments into minimum setbacks created by the new boundaries be considered a tolerance. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Seconder, Councillor Hardy. Discussion.
Yes, your worship, as Councillor Tilley mentioned, this is the church property on Longshore Road. Sold, or some of it sold and being subdivided. Obviously, when it was built there was no thought about building it so that you had all the right setbacks and all the rear yard space and all that, because it was seen as one big property. So there are a couple of minor inconsistencies, let's say, in terms of setback and rear yardage and so on, that we're prepared to consider a tolerance as we go forward with this.
Any other discussion?
Yes, yes, worship. I got one question. Maybe I'm hoping you can answer it. This is an application from the Episcopal Corporation to separate, I guess, the school property from the non-school property in front. That's not the case?
This is an application to separate
The church
from
the house, because they're going to be sold as separate units.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I
But it's
understand that.
by the people who purchased from the,
Yeah.
from the,
But it's my understanding, well, that there's a section of land in behind the school, between the school and the St. Edward Cemetery, that was also purchased by the developer. Is that included anyway?
That's not included in.
Yeah, okay, that's
in
not
this.
included. Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
All right,
Contrary minded? Carried.
61 Chaders Road, be it so resolved that in accordance with council's discretionary authority at sections 10.7 and 10.11.2 of the town's development regulations, application number 2474 dated January 9th, 2023, to operate a salon as a home occupation at 61 Chaders Road be approved. So moved.
Seconder? Councillor Morris, discussion? All in favor?
All right,
Contrary minded? Carried.
40 Fox Shop Access Road. Be it so resolved that in consideration that the proposal will not increase the nonconformity of the properties, the proposed subdivision of the land at 40 Fox Shop Access Road be approved upon submission of a registered right-of-way agreement to ensure access is maintained for both resulting properties. So moved.
Seconder? Councillor Connors, discussion?
Yes, your worship, this is a long-standing non-conforming property within a residential area that we've worked with in the past and will continue to do so. They just want to subdivide a part of the property and make sure they've got access to the residence, which is currently on the property.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
All right,
Contrary minded? Carried.
135, 137 Seal Cove Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with section 15 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, Municipal Plan Amendment number 27 and Development Regulations Amendment number 46, 2023 for proposed rezoning of the property at 135, 137 Seal Cove Road, and 7 to 17 April's Lane be referred to the Department of Municipal and Provincial Affairs to determine any provincial interests. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Butler, discussion?
Your worship, this is a rezoning application that we've been working our way through. We've reached out to the general public for submissions of interest in any way, concerns or support. We had a public meeting, information session a couple of weeks ago. The next stage at this point in time is to pass it off to the province to see if they have any interests in it, and then they'll come back and we'll take it from there.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 6F,
Excuse me, Mayor Bent. I declared a conflict at committee on this item as I have a business relationship with a developer on this list.
All right. You can sit in the back of the room now.
yes, your worship, be it so resolved that landscaping deposits totaling $169,750 as per the attached listing be taken into general revenue in consideration that the requirements of the development approvals have not been met. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Hardy, discussion.
Yes, your worship, when a developer or resident takes out a permit to build a home, part of the permit basically says that they have 2 years in which to finish the landscaping on their property, or they leave a deposit of $500, which requires them to complete the landscaping and driveway on their property. And if within those 2 years they have not reached out to us to have an inspection on that property, then we have the right to take into revenue those deposits. Deposits here now, the shortest one is 2.5 years out. Some go back 5, 6, maybe 7 years. So these will be, each one of these will represent a $500 deposit that the resident or developer didn't ask for an inspection to see if the work had been done. In many cases, the work may have been done, but the developer or the resident, whoever built the home, has not reached out to us to have an inspection. And
That's a lot of money, Counselor Hillier.
well, your worship, 2 things we could do. Or one thing, we could double the deposit. And then perhaps one of 2 things would happen. People would see it as twice the amount of money that they have on deposit and come looking for it. Or we would take into revenue twice as much money next time around. But we're not going to do that.
No, and that's a few hundred deposits. So it's
That's about 328 deposits, your worship.
328 deposits and
Yeah.
nobody came back looking for the money.
Yeah.
No.
I think the largest one grouping there is one entity has 26 deposits outstanding.
Okay, well, I hope they're doing well. Any further discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And your worship, the final recommendation, be it so resolved that the decisions and recommendations made at the Planning and Development Committee meeting on February 13th, 2023 be accepted as presented, and topics discussed are listed below.
Seconder, Counselor Barrett, discussion? All in favor?
All right,
Contrary minded? Carried.
that's it, your worship. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Counselor Hillier. Next, recommendations from Engineering and Public Works Committee, and there wasn't a meeting this past week. We'll move on to recommendations of Recreation and Leisure Services Committee. Also not a meeting this week. I don't know if you had anything. No, okay. And recommendations of the Financial and Administrative Services Committee, Chair Deputy Mayor Goss, and I know you have a pile of things.
Always a finance meeting. These are the recommendations of Financial and Administrative Services Committee meetings last week. First item is our accounts payable check register. And be it so resolved that approval be given to pay accounts payable checks totaling $179,850.87 as per the attached listing. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Barrett, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Next item are the manual checks. 9B, be it so resolved that approval be given to ratify the payment of manual checks totaling $292,107.94. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Morris, discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Next, item 9C is the capital invoice approval. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay capital invoices totaling $132,219.02 as per the attached listing. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Butler, discussion?
This is just a few invoices from some of our projects that have been winding up. Last few invoices, claim for contractor, some engineering. Just finishing these projects up.
Indicative of the time of the year. I think that's the lowest
Absolutely.
amount that you put forward on capital invoices in some time. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Next, item 9D, tax and other receivables adjustments. Be it so resolved that approval be given to adjust tax and other receivable accounts as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Barrett, discussion?
These are just some adjustments that came forward from our finance staff that had been reviewed, requests have been made. They reviewed them and it was within, within the allowances that came to our committee, and we're just bringing it forward.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Next item, 9E, Seniors Incentive Policy Amendment. Be it so resolved that approval be given to adopt the Seniors Incentive Policy as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Morris, discussion?
Mayor Bent, this is an amendment to the Seniors Incentive Policy as it relates to property taxation. And we brought forward that this council did that as seniors would have to come to the town and present identification of their age to be eligible for their benefit, but it would only be for a one-time thing. They wouldn't have to do that year after year. And it's just, this is just to reflect that amendment.
Yeah, just some housekeeping there, I guess, with the wording of
Absolutely.
our policy to make sure that reflects the change that we made a year ago. And
Yeah.
from my understanding is that it's worked really well for our seniors since we made that change. So that's
Yes.
very positive. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
9F, policy, vehicle reversing policy amendment. Be it so resolved that vehicle reversing policy be adopted as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Barrett, discussion?
This is just an amendment as it's stated to the vehicle reversing policy. Just some new items there that are reflected in there as backup cameras and things of that nature that have changed.
Yeah. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
9G, FCM Green Municipal Fund feasibility study. Be it so resolved that approval be given to make application to the FCM Green Municipal Fund for a feasibility study on a new energy efficient community center for a maximum of $350,000 at 50% cost sharing ratio. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Connors, discussion?
We're bringing forward an approval for staff to make an application for this funding. As you know, it's high on our priorities for the new community center. And this is this will give us the opportunity to do a feasible study on energy efficiency for the community center. We want to make sure when we do this center, we do it right. And this is just a great opportunity for some funding to do some work on this project.
Proper thing. Anyone else have any discussion on this matter? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And last is the department report. Be it so resolved that the decisions and recommendations of the Financial and Administrative Services Committee held on Monday, February 14th be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Hilliard, discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
And before I finish, Mayor Bent, I just want to make mention, it's February month. It is the last week before property taxes are due. And I wouldn't be a very responsible chair of finance if I didn't mention that. So, there's lots of opportunities still there for anybody who wants to take out the equal payment plan. Seniors want to come forward for the discounts. Anyway, like I said, one more week left. I remember last year I had a couple of calls from residents who came down and paid their bill like on the 2nd or the 3rd and had a month's interest and were very upset. And what I've learned is that, February is almost like a free month. So once you roll over from February to March the 1st, a month's interest is charged on your bill. So, there's another week left for people to, come in, drop in, give a call, email, whatever. There's lots of different ways that you can look after your property tax bill. Just go to our website and it's all outlined there.
All right.
That's
So-
it for me.
Pay your taxes. Always good to end on a positive note, Deputy Mayor.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Recommendations of the Economic Development and Tourism Committee Chair, Councillor Paul Connors.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So these are the recommendations from our February 14th meeting. 10A is the wayfinding signage and with a COA contribution agreement. Be it so resolved that approval be given to ratify the entering into a contribution agreement to accept funding from a COA for a wayfinding signage initiative. Funding confirmed amounts to, funding confirmed amount to $65,699. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Barrett, discussion?
Yes, sure, Mr. Mayor. This is an exciting project from my perspective. We applied for some funding through a COA to do a wayfinding, and it's in preparation for our Saver CBS that will be going on in October. But what this program is going to do is going to allow us to put signs back where the communities are to. So as you're driving along Route 60, you'll know when you're entering Foxtrap or you're entering Kelligrew, Seal Cove, Chamberlains. So that manuals, those types of identity will be there. No, I never forgot manuals.
Did you say Topsail? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Lawrence Pond, will that get one?
I guess,
Yeah,
yes. And also, we're going to have signs along the trailway. So as you're walking along the trailway, you'll know exactly where you're to. If you're in Long Pond, or if you're in Lawrence's Pond, or if you're in Topsail, then you will know where you're to. So it's a great project.
Okay, all in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
10B, the Grand Concourse Authority Membership Agreement. Be it so resolved that approval be given to continue the membership with the Grand Concourse Authority at an annual fee of $8,883.60. Funds are budgeted within the Economic Development Operating Budget. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Hardy, discussion.
Yeah, once again, this is the Grand Concourse is a very valuable resource to us. They're involved in many of the developments that we do in our town, and we have a great working relationship with them. And this is just to continue our membership with them and to be part of their organization.
Yeah, fantastic organization. They do a lot of work out here in maintaining our trail system and grooming and all kinds of different things and fixing up and cleaning up, unfortunately, sometimes.
Yes.
But a great group to be part of. All in favor? Contrary minded, carried.
So the next is the blanket recommendation, but before I go into that, I'm just gonna discuss a few things that we discussed at the economic development meeting. A little bit on unregistered businesses. So as a council, we are focused on economic development within our town, but unfortunately, there are a number of businesses that are operating without a permit. So our staff have identified approximately 75 businesses that they're operating without a budget. So we're going to start off with sending them a letter and asking them to come in and register as a business. And hopefully we will get the cooperation needed. And our goal is to have all businesses operating in our town that are compliant with our business regulations. So that's unregistered business. We're starting to prepare for Savor CBS. The dates will be October 1st to the 9th, and we'll celebrate food, culture, and heritage of 9 communities over 9 days. We'll have the Chefs for Trail annual event hosted by Mangroves River, and once again, that will be a 9-day festival that will happen in October. Sustainable business spotlights. That's another exciting thing that's happening with it in the economic development. This initiative is supporting is a proactive response to our town's climate change. First sustainable business spotlight, which is where we will highlight businesses in our town, will appear on our sustainability hub in the very near future. To talk about what they're doing to address climate change and become more resilient to future impacts on climate change. And I just want to say that there's still opportunity for other businesses. If anyone knows a business that's doing something to mitigate climate change or address climate change, that we would love to do a spotlight on them on our community hub. So the blanket recommendation is, be it so resolved that the recommendations, decisions made at the Economic Development and Tourism Committee meeting of February 14th, 2023 be accepted as presented. A list of discussion topics attached. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Hillier, discussion. Councillor Barrett.
All right, pressing the wrong button. Yeah, I just wanted to add to something Councillor Connors mentioned with respect to the compliance of unregistered businesses. I just wanted to let residents know, as a town, we provide a lot of different programs, some of which is related to businesses and culture and heritage and all these wonderful things. And moving forward, as has been the past, and certainly moving forward, if you are availing of one of these programs and you are availing of a business in the town, you need to avail of a business that is registered with the municipality. And so that would provide an even further incentive for local businesses to register. Among the myriad of benefits that will be noted in the letter Councillor Connors mentioned will be mailed out to you shortly. So just wanted to remind folks as well that compliance, we're keeping in tabs on compliance through a variety of ways. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you, Councillor Connors. Other committee reports. Does anyone have anything from other committees outside of the standard ones? We have Councillor Hillier has one.
Yes, Your Worship, I had an opportunity on February 15th to attend Northeast Avalon Joint Council meeting. We had three presentations at the time. One was from Rob Nolan from Municipalities Newfoundland Labrador, and just talking about their programs and their goals for the near future. We had a presentation by Paul Snow from the SPCA. This group has started well underway with a new program called the Way Home campaign, and basically they're raising money to build a new animal shelter in our region. And if we haven't already heard from those people, we will probably get a letter in the near future. They're asking us to chip in on the capital cost of this new building, because it will be a a regional facility. And the third presentation was from Newfoundland Labrador Search and Rescue Association, Mabel Tilley, and she basically gave us an overview of search and rescue here on Northeast Avalon. Thank you very much.
That was a full meeting, Councillor Hillier. The Way Home group with the SPCA, myself and Deputy Mayor Goss met with them, I think, a week or so ago, and that's going to come up on a committee agenda soon, that they're building a state-of-the-art animal rescue shelter, almost lifestyle facility that you know, it makes everything in comparison to it that we have here now in the region and probably in the province pale, of course. And it's something that you know, over the years we've seen the current SPCA location go from an old house to an animal shelter, and then to through donation, of course, into the facility it is now, and completely outgrown itself. And it's a great project. I believe they've raised over 3 million towards a $5.6 or $5.7 million project. And of course, they're looking for help, and anyone who's of that mind that wants to help them, of course, they'd appreciate it. And they've come to municipalities as well, and we'll have a look and see what's possible and so forth. And so it's a great initiative on their part. So thank you, Councillor Hillier. Councillor Butler.
Thank you, Your Worship. The Tourism Committee met twice in February. I'm tongue-tied here, with our last meeting being Thursday past, allowing us to break out into tourism working groups. The working groups are targeted subcommittees populated by residents and businesses from Conception Bay South, with an interest in growing the local sector hands-on and tapping into the potential of tourism. The subcommittees are supported by town staff and industry development professionals. The current 3 working groups handle the topics of marketing and publication, events, and tourism product development. 2023 is a key year for tourism in Conception Bay South, with our 50th anniversary taking place. Community Park is now open, and events like Savor CBS that seeks to highlight tourism experiences, food, and culture in all 9 communities in Conception Bay South. The tourism working groups are an excellent forum to contribute to local tourism development. The next meetings will happen the week of March 6th to the 9th. If you'd like to join one of the working groups, please reach out by email to ecdev@conceptionbaysouth.com or by phone 834-6500 extension 703. Thank you.
My microphone has done that funny thing it does. Anyone else have a report for this evening? Okay, thank you, everyone. And just before we finish up, I just want to make notice that if you're watching this council meeting and you see the We Believe signs around and you weren't watching us last week, these signs are, as we stand in certainly moral support of Councillor Elizabeth Laurie with our neighbor, the town of Paradise, who is battling cancer right now, and her mantra is We Believe. And here in the town of Conception Bay South, we have adopted that as well in support of Councillor Laurie and her battle. Based on that being the last thing, March 7th, we'll be back here again. So everyone have a great couple of weeks, and we'll see you again then. So I'll ask for a motion for adjournment. Moved by Councillor Tilley, seconded by Deputy Mayor Goss. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Good night.